Something that I've been thinking about is how frequently I speak with my clients and my groups about something that I I termed a long, long time ago, and then later realized that there was actually a book written about it, which I haven't even read, but I would like to, although maybe I don't need to. And it's called Sacred Rest. And the reason I came up with it, I mean, it just came to me because that's how things are with me. It just sort of happens in a moment. But then I was like, oh, that's actually a great term because I didn't necessarily mean go take a nap, although sometimes that's the best thing ever, or usually is. But anyway, is that there's something about the way in which in our culture there's such a emphasis on being busy and productive, which has its place. And of course, if you're dedicated to a cause, and of course, if you're, um, if someone has to work three jobs to get food on the table, like those are all like really vital things. And still, there's room for sacred rest. And what I mean by sacred rest is, I have also found that with a lot of my clients who are generally high achieving creative people who often have found themselves in some version of transition or burnout, not even realizing they were in transition or total burnout until we started digging a little further into some of what was going on with them and decisions they had to make and symptoms they were having. And so when I suggested that they get rest in a different way in their day, and then I said, what if you made it something sacred, like more special, more intentional, more where you're using it as a way to rest parts of yourselves that otherwise you weren't intentionally realizing how much was necessary. Like, um, there's a way in which we need to, of course, rest ourselves physically, socially, mentally. Our brains can get where we just need to take that break. Spiritually, creatively, we need different kinds of rest because you can't be creative 24/7 and we can't be producing 24/7. We need sensory rest, we need emotional rest. So I was saying sacred rest because that way it allowed my clients and myself to be more intentional with the ways in which we rest these different parts of ourselves. And there's different ways to do it, but I even mean something really simple, like in a day, intentionally stopping what you're doing and either just closing your eyes for 5 minutes, and you can call it meditation if you want, but really it's about rest and allowing everything to just drop down. Because when we allow ourselves, sometimes it means just laying down, which is my favorite. um, when we allow ourselves to do that, we allow space for other kinds of messages to come through that we need to hear. And I usually find that it's either right as I'm closing my eyes and breathing, and sometimes the words will come, or it's when I'm coming out of the rest that a word or a phrase or an idea or a solution to a problem or something, it can come during that time. It doesn't mean that you can't have those things come when you're busy and productive, and or if you're dancing or doing something creatively. It just means that having time for that kind of rest is a way that we can connect to our higher other parts of ourselves that otherwise are getting drowned out by the busyness that's going on.